You've done it again. Someone asked you for your time, your energy, a favor you didn't really want to give, and before you could even think, you heard yourself say yes. Not because you genuinely wanted to, not because you had the capacity, but because the alternative, the awkward silence, the shift in their expression, the possibility that they might feel disappointed in you, felt far more uncomfortable than sacrificing your own needs. And later, when everything quieted down, that familiar emotional mix showed up again. A quiet resentment toward them for asking, paired with an even heavier guilt toward yourself for feeling that resentment at all. Because technically, you agreed. So what right do you have to feel this way? But here's the part most people never realize. This pattern isn't a flaw in your personality. It isn't weakness. And it isn't even fully a conscious choice. It's a deeply learned survival response. Something your nervous system picked up over time, often long before you had the awareness to question it, where keeping others comfortable became equal to staying safe. And over the years, that wiring stayed active, shaping how you respond in friendships, at work, and in relationships, making you overly accommodating, hyper-aware of others' emotions, and deeply uncomfortable with the idea of disappointing anyone, even at your own expense. Psychologists like Pete Walker describe this as the fawn response, a fourth stress response alongside fight, flight, and freeze, where instead of confronting or escaping a perceived threat, you instinctively appease it, adapting yourself to avoid conflict. And neuroscientific concepts like Stephen Porges' neuroception explain why even subtle social disapproval can feel like real danger to your brain, triggering this automatic compliance. And while this might make you seem kind, reliable, and easy to be around on the surface, internally it often leads to exhaustion, identity, confusion, and unspoken resentment. Something even trauma experts like Bessel van der Kolk have linked to long-term physical stress in the body, because constantly overriding your own needs isn't something your system forgets. And the harsh reality is, this pattern doesn't just affect how you feel, it influences the kind of people and dynamics you attract, as noted by researchers like Shahida Arabi, because those who struggle to set boundaries often send subtle signals, excessive apologies, immediate agreement, emotional hyper-awareness, that manipulative personalities can easily recognize and exploit, not always in obvious ways, but through small tests that slowly expand into larger demands, reinforcing a cycle where you keep giving in hopes of restoring harmony, even as you lose more of yourself in the process. But the way out begins with something deceptively simple: awareness. Learning to pause before responding, noticing the signals your body sends when something doesn't feel right, and gradually allowing yourself to tolerate the discomfort of saying no, because that discomfort isn't proof that you've done something wrong. It's just your old conditioning reacting. And over time, as you sit with it, instead of escaping it through compliance, your nervous system begins to relearn a new truth, that you can prioritize yourself, set boundaries, and still be safe, accepted, and whole.